Well, welcome everybody. Welcome to another edition of Marilyn's Cafe Society Radio right here on the YouTube channel. Today is Tuesday, March the 7th, 2023. Just 299 days left in the year, everybody. How about it? Well, welcome to the show. Let's go ahead and get the show started. It's that time. It's that time. It's that time. For Maryland's Cafe Society. For Maryland's Cafe Society. For Maryland's Cafe Society. Because we live, laugh, and we love everybody. Welcome to another edition of the show. And of course, today is National Be Heard Month. Can you hear me? Hello? Is this microphone on? Mic check one, check two. Check one, check two, check three, check. Can you hear me now? All right. Well, yeah. Welcome to the show. And of course, tomorrow is International Women's Day. Now, in case you've forgotten what that means and what it's all about, well, the purpose of tomorrow, International Women's Day, is to celebrate globally the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. That's right. And it also marks a call to action to remind everyone that men, women, children, everybody, that they should be doing everything within their power to accelerate and advance the equality for women. So keep that in mind as we head into tomorrow. So how are you? How have things been? How has this past week been for you? Well, I push on despite feeling a bit sad. Um, there's some things have taken place in my personal life, but we have to keep going. And so here we are on another Tuesday. Well, listen, I just have a few stories that I just want to highlight for you before we get out of here today. And so let's go ahead and get started with Cafe News. Now, listen to this story. And we've talked about this off and on the show over the years, but here we are sitting in the year 2023, and I actually sent an email just kind of highlighting this as well to those who are members of Mondays with Marilyn email club. But listen to this. The United States tech companies, big and small, as we know, have been laying off people, particularly since the year 2022. In fact, they've laid off nearly 160,000 employees in 2022 so far, and more than 100,000 so far this year alone in 2023. So, of course, all of this turbulence that's happening in the tech sector has created massive hiring opportunities for other industries to help them build up their tech bench, more or less, right? They have an opportunity to build a deep and transformative roster of tech players for their companies. Some of these employers have struggled for years to attract top talent, and now they can fill those open positions with this newly laid off savvy crop of tech professionals. However, it is being reported by some experts that they should move quickly because they're predicting that this tech industry layoff, job cut situation should be dying down sooner rather than later. And so, folks will be, tech folks that is, will be back in high demand um pretty soon. So yeah, now they have their choice of employees for the tech industry, prior to this massive layoff. And rough spot that the tech industry has found itself in. Finding good tech people was few and far between, but now it is the employer's market, so to speak, in that particular field. All right. And then, according to the New York Times, many companies have raised prices versus lowering prices since the pandemic. And according to us as consumers, right, we know that we are in the grocery stores and gas stations and other places of business and commerce. And we know that the prices of just about everything has gone up. But the New York Times is kind of highlighting the fact that the automakers are really capitalizing on, whatever has caused this situation where the prices of things are going up, supply and demand. And, though there were those issues with shipping and transportation and making parts because factories and whatnot had to close or shut down due to COVID outbreaks and all of that. But anyway, the automakers, they're saying at the end of 2022, there were only 10 car models that were priced below $25,000. Only 10. Now, that's compared to 36 car models that were priced below $25,000 at the end of 2017. So that's a big cut there, and the number of cars that are available for those who have to kind of stick at that budget of 25,000 or less for a new car. But I guess it depends on who you listen to. But the word is that things should be turning around soon. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope that is the case. All right. Well, just in time for Women's History Month, Ikea has reported that they have reached their goal of near gender parity across its top leadership roles. Like so many others, these companies make these promises to emphasize equality and the diversity, equity, inclusion goal. And so here's IKEA's report. Now they're saying that 45% of the company, well, let's read it like this: 14 of the company's 31 CEOs across the country are now women. So that's about 45%, not quite 50%, which is good, right? Yeah, 14 out of 31, you can't beat that. And the portion of women on top retail management teams across IKEA's retail global footprint is 56%. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And the percentage 40 to 60%, that's the goal. That's the standard that they met. And this is per the International Labor Organization, that any company, any corporation should have this standard of 40 to 60%, in which they have no more than this range of employees of the same sex in order to have and maintain balanced employment ratio. So 40% is the lowest. So 40% of the workforce per company should be men, and then of course 60 women, or 50-50, or 60-40. You get it? So that's the ratio that, or standard that the International Labor Organization has set, and IKEA has met it. So far, I did just some quick searches. I didn't do anything extensive, but so far they're one of the ones that has been able to proudly make this announcement in time once again for Women's History Month. So go IKEA. All right. And so, in other news, we talked about this movie being released uh, just this past weekend, right? Creed 3. We talked about it last week. Well, listen to the numbers. They grossed 58.6 million in the United States box office sales on this past weekend. Their debut weekend, and this is according to MGM, beating expectations by about 20 million, and of course, setting a record for the franchise. And it's a big win for Michael B. Jordan, as he, of course, made his directorial debut with this particular film. I was scheduled to catch it last weekend, but had to make some quick changes and was unable to check it out. But I have checked in with some folks who did, and they said it's all good. So I am on board for this weekend to go see Creed 3, and I'll be chatting about it probably on the next show. All right. All right. Well, at the top of the show, one thing that I did not mention that is coming up this weekend, and that is daylight savings time. Well, we always say daylight savings time, but it's actually daylight saving time. Anyway, on Sunday, early Sunday morning, in the wee hours of the morning, or before you go to bed, Saturday night, you're to spring your clock forward, move it up 1 hour. And of course, it's going to add more daylight to the evening hours. And so if you're in one of those 9 to 5, 10 to 6, 11 to 7 jobs, this may be one of the first times coming up next week that you actually get off work and it's still light outside. And keep in mind that some lawmakers are still kind of trying to revive efforts to make daylight saving time the permanent time for us here in the United States. And there's that big debate about it. We talked about it on the show a few years ago, probably even last year too, probably every year during the time of year when we have to either spring forward or fall back. But there's that big debate about, should we stay with daylight saving time or should we stay with standard time, which is what we're in now. And I don't know. Again, like I said, it just depends on what you appreciate the most. Right now, I think we are pretty equal with daylight, at least in the Chicagoland area. I think, by 6 in the morning, it's light, and by 6 in the evening, it starts to get dark, or right before 6 in the evening, it starts to get dark. And of course, if we did not touch the clocks, I guess that would slowly start to change, still giving us more daylight in the evenings, But anyway, don't forget to spring forward next weekend, Saturday night, late Saturday night, or very early Sunday morning. Or if you don't have anywhere to go Sunday, you can just do it when you get up on Sunday. Everything is so digital and electronic now. You may not have to. I know there's some gadgets and clocks that I have around the house that I don't have to touch. It just automatically changes. But if you still have a few battery operated, or those that you plug into the wall, clocks that you plug into the wall, just remember to spring forward, everybody, next Sunday. All right. All right. Well, this indeed is a short show. I just wanted to pop in. But before we go, I do want to remind you that we are in a new month. And so there is a new word, and it's paladin. Paladin. And paladin means an advocate, defender, or hero of a noble cause. All right. So let's focus and meditate on that word for this month. Also, remember, the Christmas giveaway will be happening starting in October of this year, and we like to get all of our ducks lined up in advance. And so we'd love to have you promote your business, service, brand, products, albums, books, whatever you have. with the show and help us make that thing happen, okay? So send your email to producer at marilynscafesociety.com and we'll get all the details to you. And by the way, visit the website marilynscafesociety.com to connect with me on my social media platforms and the blog. Oh yeah, I finally hit the blog um, this over the weekend, or was it, what's today? Yeah, I believe it was late Sunday. I managed to crank out a blog. So make sure that so make sure that you check it out. And also here on the YouTube channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. If you want to be a part of Monday with Marilyn email club, just send your email to Marilyn's Cafe Society at yahoo.com and just in the subject say sign me up, okay? All right, well, before we go, let's look at what love is. And love is, for this show, Women's History Month, or as I call it, Women's Empowerment Month, and all that it means, including this quote that I found from designer Coco Chanel. This is so true, and hopefully you will impress this upon all the young women and even older women in your life. And that is, here's what she said: a girl, and I'll just throw in woman, a girl or woman should be two things: who and what she wants to be. All right. So listen, ladies, if you put it to work, take one step and God will take two. All right. All right. Well, listen, if you don't do anything else this week, be sure that you remember to live, to laugh, to love. I forgot to cue up my music that I wanted to play as we close out the show. It's going to pick up in a second. And excuse the volume. I was unable to get the volume up, but you hear it? Yeah. Whitney Houston, along with Shaka Khan, singing I Am Every Woman. I'll let you hear a little bit. By the way, I don't own rights to this music. All right. All right. You get the gist. So listen, as I was saying, if you don't do anything else this week, be sure that you live, you laugh, and you love. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to hang out with you, and I'll see you on the next show. Peace, everybody.